My parents refused to come to the hospital after my accident, just because my brother got a $500 towing fee and was having a total meltdown. Is he dying? Oh, then it can wait. 3 hours later, when my father finally walked into my ICU room and saw who was sitting beside my bed, he started screaming. I woke up to the smell of rubbing alcohol and the steady, annoying beep of a heart monitor. My left leg felt like it had been run over by a semi-truck, mostly because it had. The paramedic told me I was lucky to be alive. The driver had blown a red light, T-boned my sedan, and sent me spinning into a concrete barrier. As they prepped me for emergency surgery to fix my shattered femur and internal bleeding, I begged the nurse for my phone. I needed my family. I called my dad first. He didn't answer. I called my mom. She picked up on the third ring, her voice dripping with irritation. Marcus, what is it? We're a bit busy right now. Mom, I'm in the ER. I choked out, fighting back tears. I got into a really bad accident. They're taking me to surgery. In the background, I could hear my 24-year-old brother, Leo, screaming and throwing a tantrum. Well, can it wait? My mom snapped. Leo just got his car towed and it's a $500 fee. He's having a total meltdown right now. Your father is trying to calm him down. I stared at the hospital ceiling, completely stunned. Mom, I might have internal bleeding. I'm going into the ICU. I heard her turn to my dad and relay the message. My dad's booming voice echoed clearly through the speaker. Is he dying? No? Then it can wait. Tell him we'll be there when Leo's car is sorted out. The line went dead. That was the moment something inside me permanently snapped. 22 years of being the afterthought, the reliable one who never demanded attention, crystallized into pure cold clarity. Leo's minor financial inconvenience mattered more than my shattered body, but they didn't know one crucial detail about my accident. The man who T-boned me wasn't just a random reckless driver. He was a high-profile corporate executive, driving a company-owned luxury vehicle while heavily intoxicated. By the time I came out of surgery 3 hours later, my room wasn't empty. Sitting in the chair next to my bed was a man in a tailored, expensive charcoal suit. He looked exhausted, pale, and deeply remorseful. It was Arthur Vance, the billionaire CEO of Vance Industries and my father's ultimate boss, the man who practically signed my dad's paychecks and controlled his entire career. Arthur's son had been the drunk driver. Arthur had rushed to the hospital the second he heard, not to cover it up, but to look the victim in the eye and take full accountability. We had been talking for an hour. He was genuinely devastated by his son's actions and promised that every medical bill, every lost wage, and a massive, life-altering settlement would be personally handled. That's when the heavy wooden door to my ICU room swung open. My dad walked in wearing his grease-stained cargo shorts, looking annoyed that he had to be there at all. My mom followed, scrolling on her phone. All right, Marcus, we're here. My dad sighed loudly. What a mess. Leo is still stressed out, so we can't stay long. My dad froze mid-sentence. His eyes locked onto the man sitting beside my bed. The color drained from my dad's face instantly. His jaw dropped so low I thought it would unhinge. Mr. Vance? My dad stammered, his voice trembling. What are you doing here? Arthur Vance stood up slowly, buttoning his jacket. The aura of absolute power he radiated shifted the entire room. He looked at my dad with cold disgust. I'm here because my family caused this young man catastrophic harm, Arthur said, his voice dropping an octave. But more importantly, David, why are you just getting here now? My dad started sweating profusely. We had a family emergency. My youngest son, I know, Arthur interrupted, checking his watch. Marcus's phone was on speaker when you called earlier. I heard everything. I heard you say his life could wait over a towing fee. My mom gasped, dropping her phone onto the linoleum floor. My dad looked at me, his eyes wide with a mixture of terror and panic. Marcus, son, tell him we didn't know it was this bad. We love you. I looked straight into my father's desperate eyes. I didn't feel anger anymore, just a beautiful, chilling numbness. Is he dying? No? Then it can wait, I quoted back to him, my voice completely flat. That's what you said, right, Dad? My dad started screaming. Not at me, but out of sheer, unadulterated panic. Marcus, shut up. You're ruining everything. Do you have any idea who this is? I know exactly who he is, I said quietly. And he's been more of a parent to me in the last 2 hours than you've been my entire life. Arthur looked at my dad one last time. David, don't bother coming into the office on Monday. HR will mail your severance package. Your services are no longer required. My dad collapsed into the visitor's chair, burying his face in his hands, realizing he had traded his entire career and his eldest son's love just to bail out his favorite golden child. I turned my head toward the window, finally at peace, leaving them to drown in the silence of their own making.